became a trivialized experience, entertainment, because you know very well it had to be cut 12 minutes each segment for the commercials, and therefore the laughter had to be in its place and the tears in their place. That's not it. But the main thing what I really objected then was not only that the reduction, the diminishing process of the experience. I objected to the fact that it was presented as a documentary. Had it been presented simply as a show, well, I wouldn't have liked it, but I would not have criticized it, since I really don't like to criticize. I like to celebrate. Whenever I write a review of a book, it must be to celebrate. Why should I be the one to mete out punishment to a writer or to an artist, a poet?
In fact, that's why I've asked you some of the questions I have, because I know you like to celebrate. And I wondered if I could get behind the celebration to see the areas, well, in fact, the last time we spoke, in, of course, the area of the potential of nuclear destruction. You said that you were pessimistic. Generally, though, you maintain a very, very, very different approach to life. You do celebrate.
I try to celebrate life. How can I oppose death if not by celebrating life? I think there is a very beautiful saying in Talmudic literature that in our weakness we can celebrate the strength, because the weakness passes, the strength does not. 1 minute before I die, I am immortal, and therefore when the killer kills, he kills immortality.
Mr. Wiesel, in the few minutes that we have remaining, and I always find myself in the position that when you have said something akin to what you just a moment ago said, I don't know how I can go on. I mean, I don't know how I can move to another subject. So I'm not moving to another one, but going back and asking about the, Bhopal, again Challenger, again the ease with which we accept in the name of physical progress, wealth, power, our society's involvements in biological, chemical, scientific experiments that can endanger others. Do you have any strong feelings about that? I know you're impressed with the development of science, but there must be a cost, and I wonder what you see as that cost, that price.
Well, the cost really is the lack of ethical concerns. Before we came on the program, we spoke about, what you are going to call a conference on liberty in July. I would suggest you have a conference about the ethical need in culture today. Not about ethical culture, but the ethical need for culture or for intellectual endeavors. I would, for instance, use all the influence that I have, and you have more than I, that any university and every university should have compulsory courses in humanities for medical schools, for schools of engineering, for law schools. They must know, that means the lawyers should know why they defend people from going to jail, why liberty is important. The doctors should know why life is sacred. And the engineers should know why comfort is important for the other human being.
Do you feel that that's teachable?
It is teachable. Oh, it is teachable, not maybe in the long run, but at least the attempt must be made. Surely it is better when a doctor reads a few books, and he goes to a few plays, and he reads a few poems, under the guidance of a good teacher, of an inspiring teacher. It's surely better to read books than not to read books, to think about culture than not to think about culture, to absorb morality, or at least examples of morality or immorality. But even the examples of immorality in a class become examples of morality. It's better than not.
Have you found that the teachings, your teachings, about the Holocaust have moved, and we're coming back to the same subject again, have moved children of darkness and made of them children of light?
Absolutely. We have talked already a few times, and I rarely speak about the Holocaust. I write little about it now because so many others do, and it's perfect, it's good. But I can testify that when a child, or even a grown-up, when they enter the world of that kind of literature, when they emerge, they are no longer the same. That I can tell you. And I have seen categories there even. Of course, a person who does not care about humanity and only cares about machines doesn't read this literature. And if he or she reads, it doesn't matter. But I have seen children, what it did to them. It changed their lives. I have seen adults. It changed their lives. You know who else reads this kind of literature? Cancer patients. Strange. I get many letters from cancer patients. Because they too, they feel they are doomed. They are in a universe from which there is no way out. And they find something in this approach, in this possibility of hope.
You remain a possibilist, even with your involvement with the prophets who, in a sense, weren't.
No, they were not, but I think of Camus, who said, you know, the choice sometimes is between being a smiling pessimist and a weeping optimist.
You've made your choice.
Sometimes.
We have, I think, less than a minute left. Were you pleased, particularly, when you were chosen to receive the Medal of Liberty as one of the naturalized Americans who enjoy the statue and all that it stands for?
Yes. Really, of the things that happened to me, this is a moment of joy and gratitude, because I owe something to this country. And I think all of us, immigrants, and especially Jews, but not only Jews, Italians, Irish, Chinese, we owe something to this country. And I felt that this would be an opportunity to say certain words of gratitude.
Elie Wiesel, I do appreciate your joining me again. Thank you so much for being here on The Open Mind.
It's good being with you.
And thanks, too, to you in the audience. And since Elie Wiesel is always such an extraordinary person to watch and to listen to, next week on many of these stations, we'll rebroadcast for you his earlier Open Mind. Meanwhile, if you would share your thoughts about this program, please do write to me in care of this station. And as an old friend used to say, good night and good luck. Continuing production of this series has generously been made possible by grants from the Richard Lounsbury Foundation, the M. Weena Foundation of New Jersey, the Mediators and Richard and Gloria Manny, Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence A. Ween, Pfizer Incorporated, and the New York Times Company Foundation.